All right, guys, back again, episode 24. Tonight we got a very special guest making his pro debut in our fighting city of Philadelphia, PA, April 24th. We got Too Sharp, Jaqeem Hutcherson. Jaqeem, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I appreciate you for having me on, man. I like it. I feel good. Thank you.
Of course,
Thanks, Jaqeem.
man. So why don't you let everyone know, where are you from?
I'm from Capitol Heights, Maryland, which is the DMV area. So this is where I do my training and everything for boxing and everything.
All right, cool. And then what age did you start boxing at?
I started boxing 6 years ago. At 18, I got into boxing kind of late. Because I was always like doing other sports like football, track, and baseball. That's what I did in high school. And so my friend Mike, he was boxing at the time. He said, "Just come to my gym, come to my gym." And I said, "All right, I'm gonna come." But once I actually had time to do it, like when I got out of high school, that's when I picked it up at Oxon Hill Boxing Club. It was my first gym I was at, and that's where I started my training.
Very nice.
Oh, all right, awesome. Yeah, I mean, like that seems pretty normal here. Besides the Philly fighters that, have sons where they like literally start after the day that they're born fighting, but it seems like age like 14, even 20 something is like the age where people start fighting at. So that's really cool. And then you said you did play other sports, basketball and football. Like, did you play all through high school, and did you get to play at college at all, or was it just high school?
All throughout high school. So I did football. I moved from football. I went to track. I moved from track and I did baseball. When I got to college, I graduated from Morgan State University up in Baltimore, Maryland.
Here we go.
First semester, I ran track, and I pulled my quads. When I pulled my quad, I said, "Okay, I'm just going to focus on boxing right now." We do a lot of running in boxing, but I was a sprinter. But in boxing, you're doing like a lot more miles, so it's a lot more. It's not as fast paced running. That's just like training for sprints and stuff. So that's when after I pulled my quad, I just started focusing on my boxing after.
What was your 100-meter dash?
So I played baseball. So 100-meter is like outside. So that's outdoor running. So ours was 55 meter in high school, or when you get to college, that's a 60-meter. Dash and everything, but I pulled my quad, so I just like stopped running. But I never did outdoor because I was always on baseball.
Okay.
But it sounds like you're familiar with it, so you run yourself.
Hell no, not anymore. But
Yeah, right.
I avoid running at all costs.
Yes,
Once a week.
He said once a week.
Man, yes. So that's actually funny that you had your quad injury, but then you became a boxer, and then like of course you do have to run, but like of course it's not really that intense at all. I mean, like of course it's like more like flat, and just getting like the stamina up. You could use the machines and all too. Yeah. Yes, so since you're fresh out of amateurs, I'm sure that all these questions are going to be very fresh in your head. But let's talk about your amateur record, and some of your achievements, and then lastly, when did you know you were ready to go pro?
I had about 40 amateur bouts. So I guess in about 6 years, I had about 40 amateur bouts. But really 5 years because I haven't fought since last year because I was going to turn pro. Actually, I was going to turn pro April 11th of 2020. But of course, that's when the pandemic hit and everything.
Yeah.
So it was everything. So I guess my fight got pushed back a year. So I might have about a 25 and a 15 record, something like that around there. Some of the achievements I had, I believe it was either 2016 or 2017. I was ranked 16th in my weight class out of the whole U.S. in my division. I think it was 123 back then. I think right now the division is 125 in the amateurs. Let me see. I have some runner-ups and like the Golden Gloves here and stuff like that. I never actually won the whole Golden Glove here in the Washington, D.C. metro area. And then just a lot of shows and just getting W's and stuff, So that's about my amateur career right there. When did I know I was ready to turn pro? I kind of like always had like a pro style. Like you see a lot of amateurs like throwing a lot of punches and everything, when it fights because they're trying to score points. But in pro style, they sit down on the punches more. They don't throw like as many punches. They take their time and they set up shots a lot more, that's kind of like the style that I've always had and stuff, like when I'm fighting. Yeah, so that's when I kind of knew that I was ready to turn pro. Of course, I was going to turn pro last year, April 11th, in 2020, but the pandemic and everything shut everything down. So now I got the opportunity from Tony Jetta to fight on his card up in Philly at the 2300 Arena, April 24th. And so I'm just excited about it, I'm ready. I think we on Saturday, I think that's a coming Saturday. It's about 4 weeks out. So I'm good, and I'm just ready to fight and put on a show for you guys up there in Philly,
Let's go.
Of course, awesome. Okay, great. Now, I was even telling Nick, before we were gonna do the podcast with you. So you have a very special relationship / training partner with Jared Swift Hurd. What has that been like, and how did you guys wind up linking up and all?
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my bro. I was over his house last Saturday. But yeah, so he recently moved his camp down to Houston, so that's where he was getting his training at for this upcoming fight and everything. But sometimes when he come back in town and stuff like that, we link up for runs. Like we just go for like runs and stuff like that. I know we was running last week as well too. Yeah, so that's my boy. That's my dog. Training with him is like he's a former unified champion, So like how much more motivation do you need training next to someone like that? I've been training with him since 2015, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's been 2015 since I was training for him. So before all the belts and everything, all the fame and glory, I just saw the hunger in him. He's a real cool. He's the same from right now from 2015. Didn't change at all. Whether the fame, glory, money, and all that stuff doesn't matter. He's still the same person. I see the hunger in him, the drive, the way that he trained. We laugh and we joke all the time, but when it's down for business, when it's time to lock in and focus, that's that. I see him tap into it, kind of like the late Kobe Bryant, that Mamba mentality. It's kind of like Jared got that real cool, humble dude, laugh around, joking all the time, always laughing, keep us laughing. But when it's time for fight time, when it's time to lock in, he lock in, and that's what I kind of get from him. You see me, they used to call me play in the gym, because I be laughing and cracking jokes and stuff like that, Even when sometimes like when I'm in the ring, I be like playing a little bit, having a little bit of fun. But when it's time to lock in and focus, you gotta know when to tap in and lock in and focus, But it's been great training with Jared. I learned a lot from him. Former unified champ, coming back to get his belts and everything, But just watching him train, that's what I try to take from him and emulate for him, Try to make sure that I'm always locked in and focused, and when it come down to fight time, I make sure you're ready for it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I've always liked him. So like, of course, when he fought Julian J. Rock Williams, from Philly, of course I was, yeah, of course I was Philly all day, but that was a hell of a fight. I mean, like, even the both of them just have that hunger and swagger. But like, again, like you were saying, them damn belts, like over the last 2 years have been going around like hotcakes, where Jared had it, J-Rock had it. I was at the arena when he lost to Jason Rosario. I could not believe it. I was like literally on the floor watching it where J-Rock was on the ropes. I could not believe that Jason Rosario. And then Jason Rosario's belt got taken by one of the Charlo twins. That's crazy.
Yeah, and now Jamel is I think he got 3 of the belts right now. I think Brian Castano got the other one, so they might be talking about them in fights and everything, But
oh yes,
yeah, but Jared Swift, he's coming back. If he get that fight, I'm very confident that he'll be able to reclaim his title.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like, he looked great, because I know he's got a brand new coach and team like right after that fight, and then he was on the Danny Swift Garcia card January 2020 up in Brooklyn, and he looked great. I mean, like, I know he wasn't trying to knock the guy up, but he was just working on stuff that, we haven't seen Jared Hurd do before, and he looked phenomenal. So I can't wait to see it.
That's very, very true. A lot of the fans, I guess, was kind of like mad because he didn't go out and take out his opponent. But you saw in the last round, he could easily do it. He walked right to his opponent, boom, and he knocked him down for left hook, But the whole camp, Kik Roma is the new head trainer. The whole camp, they was working on more movement, using his size and his length and his ability. You don't have to go to war every fight. And
right.
That's why you saw Jared moving a lot more and everything, actually displaying his boxing skills. If you look back, Jared has excellent boxing skills. I was just studying one of his old fights. Frank Galarza, he fought Frank Galarza out in Vegas, and he beat that boy bad, you know. And he boxed him, counter punched him, and everything, you know. Jared has boxing skills. It's just that he's a bigger guy, so a lot of his opponents move. So Jared had to walk down. So that's why he was moving forward in his fights, and getting his opponents tired and weakened out, and he take them out in the later rounds. But J Rock was a better man that night, you know. No excuses, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jared will be back.
Of course, yeah. Now, should we expect him up in Philly to watch you fight, or is he going to be focused in Houston?
So, Jared was supposed to fight. His fight date keep getting pushed back and everything, you know. And then he just recently lost his father. His father just recently passed away.
Yep.
So prayers up to him and his family, you know.
Of course.
So not too sure if he will be at the fight. But I know he wants to fight again as well too, because he was down in Houston training. So I'm not too sure if he'll be at the fight. But me and him, I was just over his crib over the weekend, and so we was talking and discussing the fight and everything. He was just telling me, you know, pros is different from amateurs, lock in and everything, focus. And he was just, you know, giving me tips and stuff like that, you know. So I'm not sure if he'll be at the fight because he might be in Houston training for his fight, but me and him will talk and everything, you know what I'm saying? And he was helping me train and stuff like that, and going on runs and stuff like that too, because, you know, I got a fight coming up. So, but me and him is in constant discussion and stuff like that, you know?
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, he actually reminds me of like Boots. So like Boots Ennis is like that with like a lot of the prospects here, where he's at every single club show cheering all those boys on from North or West Philly. It doesn't even matter. He's always there supporting and all. So that's awesome to see that Jared's like that.
Real good dude. Boots is a great. He had a good fight coming up as well too. So Boots is it's one of my favorite fighters out right now.
Oh man, yeah, he's just a different breed, man. He's so good. He's
a
good.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so let's dig into the pro debut. I'm sure you're very excited. You might have some butterflies pre-fight, but I'm sure you're going to be incredible. So how are you gonna keep your composure on that night, or are you pretty cool, calm, and collected?
Me and Jared was actually talking about this over the weekend, about their butterflies and the nervousness and stuff like that. I'm normally, it's kind of funny. I get nervous when other people fight, like when Jared is fighting and stuff like that. It's like, because I'm not in the ring, so I can control what happened. Like, I'm nervous like when Jared fights. I'm like, oh, damn, to the first bell ring, you know what I'm saying? But when I'm in the ring, it's funny because like I might have a smile on my face, but I'm focused, like I'm locked in because I'm the one that's like actually in the ring. You know, I can control what I do. I know the miles that I ran, how many rounds I hit the gym, all the sparring that I did. You know, I can control what happened. But one thing about me, I stay composed, cool and calm, you know what I'm saying, collected and everything. So I plan on being calm, but like Jared said, he said, it's your first pro fight. He said he was nervous for his. He said he was nervous on the ring walk. He said he was nervous on the stare down. He said, but once you get in there and the first punch is thrown, he like, okay, cool. All right, bet. Now it's time to go to work. You know, it's another day in the gym. Now you just got spectators there. It's a lot more spectators there, you know? So, I mean, I think I'll be fine. I'll be good. I know I will be. But I do things to calm me down. So whatever song I choose to walk out to and everything, I'll be, you know what I'm saying, bobbing my head into the song and stuff, you know, that'll help me calm down and stuff if I'm nervous, you know what I'm saying? But and then I keep a smile on my face, you know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that they'll do, if you see me smiling and everything, I'm thinking about something, you know what I'm saying? Keep me calm, keep me composed and stuff like that, you know, everything. But it's funny you asked that. Me and Jared was just talking about that. But just he told me, just stay composed, you know what I'm saying? I might be nervous up until the first punch, but after that first punch is thrown, it's business time and it's time to go to work.
Everyday work.
Yeah. It's everyday work. It's another day in the gym. Now we underneath all these lights, and then we just got spectators there. But it's another day in the gym, and it's time to go to work, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as crazy as it sounds for like a person like me or Nick, but like I feel like after the first jab you take, that you're gonna feel good. So yeah.
Absolutely. It's kind of like some sparring. When I first started boxing, I remember some of my first sparring sessions. I might be nervous going to the gym and stuff like that, you know, because I wasn't taking boxing so seriously.
Right.
So I might have not been running like how I was supposed to or something like that, or I might have been partaking in some other activities I shouldn't have been. You know, so when I get in there to spar, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, am I ready for this? And then after the first punch, I'm like, okay, cool. All right, now it's time to wake
Yeah.
up. Boom, then I'm good out there, you know. So I kind of similar. It'd probably be like the same as the fight, you know, everything. But I'm much more focused and locked in now, so I'm not doing that no more.
So obviously we don't know who your opponent is, so we don't know if he's going to be watching, but I do want to ask this question to you. So what is your game plan going in? Are you just trying to let your hands go, or do you have like a specific thing that you're trying to work on?
Well, I know they threw a name at me, so I think I know who I'm going to fight. They didn't announce it yet, so I'm not going to announce the guy's name and everything. But he might be up there from where you guys is at in Philly. So I will
okay.
say that.
Oh shit! Oh boy! Oh,
so
damn.
I will say that, but they didn't announce it yet, so I'm not going to announce the guy's name. But they told me his name. They told me about his height, and then they did say that he was right-handed. So I mean, I don't know if he switched back from orthodox to southpaw or anything, but somebody just did say that he was an orthodox fighter. But I don't know anything about him else. So, you know, so it's kind of like the amateurs, like when you go on a fight, like at a big tournament or anything, like you don't know much about your opponent right then. You know, you go out there and then you got to fill out your opponent right then and there, you know. So I can't really control what he would do, but I can control what I would do. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can control the fight, you know what I'm saying? So as long as I'm good and everything is good with me, like my coaches and everything, Brian Mabry and Jay Gotts, we're coming up with a good game plan, you know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna go out there and execute it on April 24th, you know. So we're gonna go out there, we're gonna box him. If the knockout comes, it's gonna come, but I don't go into it looking for it. But if the opportunity presents itself, best believe I'm gonna take advantage of it, you know. And it will be fireworks April 24th.
Awesome, man. I know we are sold after hearing that.
Taking out one of our own, but it'll be all right.
I know, right?
My apologies for that, but business is business.
Listen, man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
Wonder if he was a guest here. Probably not.
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh wow, that would have been funny.
So obviously, Baltimore's trying to take over Philly, man. You see this April 24th. Baltimore's coming up by the busload.
Exactly.
In Philly, definitely, yeah, definitely down here where I'm at from Maryland to, you know, Capitol Heights and all of my boys. I got some people that's coming up to support. I got a good little number through COVID restrictions and everything. I got a good number that's coming up to support and everything. It's exciting, you know. I'm in the middle of camp now. I think we got about 4 weeks left, something like that. I'm feeling good. My weight is good. I'm on schedule. My strength and conditioning is going great. Boxing in the gym is going well. My miles. My boys always push me. Chance, Juice, Coop, Sheldon, and Durbin. They are always they never let me slack. They text me like, "What you doing, Arbeck? Let's go running." Especially now that we got good weather outside. There's no excuse, you know what I'm saying? Because I was running in the cold anyway, but there's actually no excuse now, and they always push me to make sure that I'm out there and I'm running, I'm training, everything. So it's best believe that I will be in shape on April 24th, and a focused two shop is a dangerous two shop. So when I'm focused and I'm in shape and everything, it's gonna be a wonderful night on April 24th. Believe that.
Man, yeah, me and Nick bought tickets, so we weren't able to get so like with the COVID restrictions, there's no credentials unfortunately, so we did buy tickets from Brandon Chambers, so we're very excited to see a lot of you Maryland boys you know, fighting and coming up to our city and stuff, but hopefully you don't kick any of the Phillies guys' asses too much on that night, you know.
I don't have a choice in the matter. So,
I know. It's funny. So I got a couple more questions, and then I'm going to pass it on to Nick. So my first one is, tell us about your relationship with former boxer and boxing promoter Tony Jeter. So I had him on, and I still call and text him daily and stuff, just asking him how the show's doing. Also him, like, he is awesome. He's just filled with boxing knowledge and all. But what's your relationship with Tony?
Tony's a great dude, man. I talked with him probably about 30 minutes ago, and then me and him talk, if not daily, probably every other day. He calls me. One thing about Tony, he calls me late at night. So whether it's about, I don't know what it is about late at night, like he's a night owl. So whether it's about 9, 10. Last night he called me at like 11:15. He texted me like, "You up?" I'm like, yeah. And then boom, I said, he better call me. And then here you go calling me. But Tony's a great guy, man. I trained with some people that fought on some of his previous cards. And then a great guy, a great friend, a coach of mine, Sweetney, he passed away from cancer recently. Yeah, and he was going to put me actually on he was going to talk to Tony and get me on one of Tony cards. Actually, last February, I believe it was like February 28th of 2020, before the whole pandemic, Tony had a card down here in Hanover, Maryland at Live Casino. I was going to fight on that card, but it was like kind of like too close and everything, and then working out some things. So I ended up not fighting on it. But I knew Tony. I always saw him at the fights because some of the fighters that I trained with at my gym fought on his card. So the whole pandemic and everything happened, and then Tony announced that he's going to throw this card up there. And so me and him got in touch. We got in contact, and we started talking and everything. And here we are. So I got the call back in about, I think it's like late February. I got the call for this fight when me and him started talking and everything. So I've been training for a nice little minute, you know. So we will be well prepared for it. And I just thank, you know, Tony for giving me the opportunity. You know, me and him already been talking about future plans. I won't say too much more about that, but none of that matters unless I get past April 24th.
You can break some news here, dude. Don't even worry about it.
I know, right?
I have to get past April 24th first, you know. All of that is moot unless I take care of business on April 24th. So
right, yeah.
That's all.
Yes.
That's all that I'm focused on right now. That's all that I'm worried about right now is April 24th, and the guy that will be in front of me. That's all. I'm locked in and focused on that.
Awesome.
Right. All right,
Yeah.
cool. So I got two more fun questions for you, and then I will pass it on to Nick. So my first one is, we need to know what your alliance is. So Brandon Chambers threw us a curveball on this one. So you did say you're from Maryland, so we need to know, are you Baltimore Ravens or are you Washington football?
That's easy.
Washington football? All right.
Washington football team. Cool, man. Like, that's my team. I grew up. Football is actually my favorite sport. I grew up playing football since I was like 11. Like, people start boxing around that age. That's when I started playing organized football. I was like 11 when I was on my first team. Yeah, so football is my favorite sport. Washington football team. We won in division last year.
Whoa.
You know, I think we're gonna go back and we're gonna repeat again. I know y'all like what the Eagles, Penny Eagles, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, y'all was throwing garbage last year, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man!
Dude, you are just digging a hole coming up here. You're fighting. You're fighting in Philly. You're Washington football, and you're gonna fight a Philly fighter. Come on, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but you know, I got to rub it in. You know,
We were ass.
You know?
We were ass, dude. 3-8-1.
we were
That was
terrible.
terrible.
I don't know what was going on. You know, y'all fired Doug Peterson. It looked like he might have tossed the game to us the last one. I don't know what was going on. Y'all fired him. Y'all got rid of Carson Wentz. You know, but I like Hurts. You know, Jalen Hurts. He's a pretty mobile quarterback. So
I like him. We
we'll
just
see
signed
about that.
Joe Flacco today as our backup.
Yeah,
So
great.
God help us.
Joe,
Put a
oh
ball
my
on
goodness.
Listen, I'm just hoping for one more win than last year, so that'll put us at 4-9.
I know, right? Jesus.
Y'all might get another high draft pick. That's pretty good for you.
Dude, that'd be great. That's all I'm hoping for. Next 5 years is constant draft picks.
So my last question I got for you. So we do this with the Philly fighters, but we would love to hear your input. I already know probably two of your fighters that will be on here. But name your top 5 current Maryland/Virginia fighters right now that are in boxing.
You know, my boy Swift Jared is on there, of course.
Right.
I gotta put him there. Top 5. Capitol Heights, that's where I'm from, so I go Gary Russell.
Of course.
The 126 WBC champion. Gary Russell. My boy Quarles, Brandon Quarles. He's from Alexandria, Virginia. He's still fighting right now. Top Maryland fighters. Man.
You're gonna go with Tank or no? Tank?
Oh, Tank. How can I forget Tank? Yeah, he's from Baltimore.
Right.
Tank.
He's in
okay,
prison
yeah.
right now.
Stop! Don't do that.
Look at Nick. Come on, Nick.
Don't do that. Come on now. He'll be hopefully. I was reading up on it. It's like some traffic violations. Yeah. So
Right. Yeah.
I think he'll be fine with that. Hopefully, you know.
You're busting the Eagles balls, man. I gotta bust.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
true.
I understand. So Tank. So I named 4. I got one more. Tank, Jared, Gary, Brandon, and yeah, you terrible, Nick. Oh my god, can't wait for your questions. I got one more. Man, can I put myself on there?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
go ahead. Perfect, man.
I'll
I
put
love
myself.
it.
But you know what? I'm gonna name Keyshawn Davis.
Keyshawn
He
Davis,
just had,
okay.
he just had his. I would put Shakur in there because he trains down here sometimes, but he's from New Jersey and everything. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Keyshawn Davis because great fighter. I used to train from sometimes when he came up here to Alexandria Boxing Gym. But Keyshawn, he was going to go to. Of course, he was going to go to the Olympics and everything, but the whole COVID and everything happened. He just had his pro debut on Canelo undercard down in Miami. He looked great, you know. He's a real cool dude, funny dude as well. But when it's time to get in the gym, he's about that business. I spar him a few times, and he's sharp. So believe it. But Keyshawn Davis, yeah, that'll run on my top 5. So Swift, Tank, Brandon Quartz, Keyshawn Davis, and Gary Russell. That's my top 5 for the Maryland, Virginia area.
All right, cool. I like it. All right, Nick.
Look, Joe even has his Washington
more,
Wizards. Right? Look, Joe even has his Washington shirt on.
Wizards.
Right
I do. I'm showing love.
Listen,
I'm showing love.
I appreciate it.
Now, if we want to talk about that for like 2 minutes, we could talk about it.
I like Steph Curry, so I go with the Warriors, Golden State Warriors.
Oh, well, they're about to get their asses beat tonight.
The Sixers.
Hey, we play. Oh wow! No, Steph is out. You know, Steph is out. He got the tailbone bruise, and he's balling MVP caliber this year.
Absolutely.
He just won a 3-point contest. Klay Thompson tore his Achilles. Prayers up, and hopefully he'll be back. You know, we still got Draymond. We got James Wiseman, a young guy. Steve Kerr said I coach and everything. So trust me, when Klay comes back next year, we're back in title contention. Believe me, we're back in title contention. You know, so. I'm excited and ready for that next year.
All right, nice. Yeah, his Steph's brother's out for us tonight too. He has a ankle issue or something like that.
You know, it's funny about Philly, the Sixers. Y'all do well in the regular season,
yes,
but I don't know what it is about the postseason. Especially when that year that Toronto won it and Kawhi took y'all out. Man,
that like quadruple bounce.
Yeah, but y'all got Doc now, so y'all playing a lot better with Doc Rivers at y'all coach.
And people didn't realize how much that was going to change this team. You know what I mean? Like I was like, you guys relax. Well, who'd you guys bring in? I'm like, first off, it doesn't matter who we brought in. The whole coaching staff's different now. Yeah. And Doc's a proven winner.
Yeah.
He played in the league, so he knows it. He knows how to work with these all-stars and stuff like that. So that's great.
Upside and Joel Embiid, like he's playing so much better. He's a beast, man. MVP caliber before he just got hurt, man. So hopefully he'll be back pretty soon.
Yeah, he's supposed to get tested or reevaluated in a couple more days up here. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. All right, so back to fighting. So I always ask, you know what? You touched on something that you got started in boxing late, and it kind of reminded me of we have 2 MMA fighters up here, the Dawkins brothers, and they started training MMA very late, like quote unquote very late. So like 18, like freshman in college, and now Chris is like top 10 in the world at UFC heavyweight. So it's unbelievable, man. Like it just shows you it doesn't matter when you start; it matters when you start and how much work you put in. And the sky's the limit. And I'm looking forward to following your career and everything like that. And we appreciate you coming on and everything. So I was going to get into. So you don't know who your opponent is yet, right? They just told you some like attributes and things like that. What is it?
I know who it is. I know who they. I know who.
All right, just keeping stuff from us. I get it. So
they just didn't announce it yet, so I don't want to announce it before they do.
Right.
But
we won't even post this yet, dude. We won't even post it until they announce it.
I can't do that. I know how the media is. I know you guys are.
I'm playing. So I always ask the fighters, the boxers, this especially. The whole YouTubers, and I'll give you my opinion on it. I don't know if you watched any other videos about it. I fucking hate it. So I feel as if I'm like indifferent about it. So these guys are getting paid this amount of money, but they didn't start boxing when they were 18, 14, 12 years old, putting in all this work and fighting the best fighters on the planet. These dudes are fighting ex-NBA players ex-MMA fighter who hasn't thrown a punch in like 3 fights or something like that, who's known for grappling, and he's getting paid this amount of money. But I guess shout out to them for, doing it. You know what I mean? Like it takes someone special to get into the ring. You know what I mean? Like not everyone can do that. But what's your thoughts on that?
I respect anybody that gets in the ring at least at the gloves. You mentioned some good points, but I mean, I see both sides of it. The YouTubers and ex-NBA players. I mean, you can look at it as them bringing more attention and more awareness to the sport. What do they call it? Any attention or any publicity is good. Any publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about the sport, and so it's bringing more viewership and more people. I mean, but look at Nate Robinson. Everybody can't do it. Everything is not for everybody. I tell everybody that. You guys stay in your lane. Like Nate Robinson, the basketball court, you did your thing. But don't try to step over to the boxing ring. You see what happened to him. Jake Paul, he's doing his thing now. Look at him. He's doing the YouTube thing. Now they talk about him might be fighting Floyd in the exhibition fight. And then they might generate millions of dollars. But it's bringing attention, it's bringing awareness to the sport. But then on the other hand, I see what you're talking about, and it's like, well, you got the 14, 15, 16-year-olds that's been grinding, and now they're trying to hurry up and get to that spot. But it's like they got to work their way up. Whether a YouTuber come in and now boom, now they just fighting. Where you got the older guys like maybe Mike Tyson that's coming back, or Roy Jones that just fought, and it's like way, way, way past their prime, and it's like now they still fighting and stuff like that. I mean, so I see both sides of it, but you can look at it as any publicity is good publicity. So bring more awareness to the sport. But I mean, as long as they talk, put me on the undercard, you know what I'm saying? Give me some publicity as well too, Let me get up there with them, so that would be cool.
Because I know a lot of boxers that probably know young boxers that are out there right now that would beat the shit out of Jake Paul or Logan Paul or like any YouTubers.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I don't know, man. It just rubs me the wrong way. And I think, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm like the more MMA guy in this podcast. So I think the UFC, if they were all on at the same exact time, I think they would blow boxing out of the water as far as like views and things like that.
MMA is taking off. Dana White is doing an excellent job with the UFC, and now he's on a platform with ESPN, so he's reaching millions and millions of viewers. I was watching a fight a couple of weeks ago. I forget the guy's name, but he moved up a weight division to try to fight for the title. Yes, but he lost. But he fought great. He fought excellent until the guy took him down, and he just couldn't do anything. And I look at female MMA, UFC, it's way bigger than I think it is way bigger than women's boxing. That's why Clarissa Shields is trying to step over and get more money, Clarissa Shields is a great, great, great boxer, What is it? Her name? Adam Nunes or something like that?
Amanda
right?
Nunes, yeah.
Amanda Nunes. And she just crushed her opponent.
Yeah.
I feel, so I kind of agree because UFC is taking on, and then it's like one champion per like weight class, right? In boxing, I feel like you have way too many champions per weight class. You got the 4 major sanctioned bodies: WBC, WBA, WBO, and the IBF. But look at the WBA. You got the super champion, then you got the regular champion, then you might have an interim champion. WBC, you might get a franchise belt, and then you might be an interim champion. And it's way too many belts, I feel like, In the UFC, it's like it's one champion. And then you might be able to move up a weight class more. You can conquer that division. You might get a belt there, like your guy just did. Well, he attempted to do. But now he can go back to middleweight. I think he's at middleweight.
Yeah,
he
he's
can go
the
back
champ
down.
still.
He's still the champ. So you can still fight there. Then he's just building up his name. You got to weigh the wish reward. Another thing at boxing and UFC that's different is you can take a loss and you can bounce back easy. In boxing, it's like you take a loss and it's like everybody's trying to write you off. So I feel like that's the difference. But I agree with you right there. That's a great point that you make.
Yeah, I mean, I love both sports. I follow MMA more, more religiously, but I love if there's a boxing fight on, Joe will remind me and I'll watch it. I love it, you know what I mean? Because it's like a sweet science. And then like MMA, obviously you get everything involved in it. So it's just, it's just boxing has to do something. I don't know if it's the YouTube. Is that the answer to get more viewers to watch your boxing fights, or Is it less belts, so the best boxers in the world have to fight each other? I don't know what it is.
It's a lot of boxing politics in it. What it is Dana White is the promoter for UFC, and it's only Dana White. With boxing, you might have Al Heyman and PBC. You might have Eddie Hearn and Matthew Boxing, Bob Burnham and Top Rank Boxing, Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. I'm probably forgetting some, but it's a lot of different promoters in boxing. So everybody don't fight everybody. Like everybody's been calling for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, but they call it on different sides of the streets because they have different promoters. So they're not going to fight each other, What I like about Canelo right now is he's not ducking nobody, he's going and he's fighting everybody, it doesn't matter. He's trying to be undisputed champion. But you get some people that's tied to promoters and they can't fight people that they want to, if they really want to. They might call somebody out. They might get Twitter fingers and be talking and stuff, but they really don't want to fight.
Right.
They just building the fight up and they talking business and everything. And UFC is only Dana White. So he match you up and you fight you, boom, you just go with it like that. So that I feel like that's a major difference between UFC and boxing. There's just plenty of different promoters out there. I feel like that's messing the game up because you can't get the fights that you really want. Back in the day, everybody was fighting, Marvin Havlicek just passed away. He had plenty of fights, him, Sugar Ray. And I was just watching some of Marvin Hagler fights as well. Back in the day, it's like everybody fight. Now, everybody want to protect their record, build the fighter up and stuff like that, so it's a big difference. Boxing politics, man, I call it.
Absolutely. All right, man. I'm looking forward to watching April 24th. Can't wait for you to come up here. Bring Baltimore up here, bring Washington up here, man, do the whole thing. Just please, for the love of God, do not walk out in a Washington football team jersey.
Well, with my colors that I'm wearing, I will not come out in a Washington football jersey, the colors that I'm wearing. But it's funny, my head trainer, Brian Mabry, he's from Philly, actually. Both of my trainers, my head trainer, Brian Mabry, my assistant trainer, Jay Goss, both of them is from Philly. So it's kind of funny. Both of my trainers from Philly. My pro debut was in Philly. I'm fighting somebody from Philly. The fight is in Philly, so
maybe this will be like a regular thing for you, fighting in Philly.
Hey, we'll see, it was funny. I was trying to think about what song I was going to come out to. And then Brian, my trainer, he told me come out to a Meek Mill song. I can't remember the song, but he said Meek Mill. I said, hell no. I said, he's from Philly. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Joe, how much time do we got?
I think we got like 20 seconds. Did you want to finish up on Instagram Live, or do you want to, or do you think we're good?
It's completely up to you. If you just want to do it.